Izeneyes. To all you great American dads out there, the mothers of your children, and of course, the ones who call you dad. That's what this is all about. Welcome to episode 5 of the Izeneyes podcast. And remember, the word Izeneyes is a meaning I created myself so that we can brand this and make it more specific and meaningful. It is the process as well as the driven desire in which someone or something is improved with direct intent and dedicated purpose. So, let's go ahead and Izeneyes our day with a great video of a recap of what we did last week's episode. I talked about the happiness that we can have. There's two different types. There's pleasure and joy. Pleasure is definitely required in life, but joy is the ultimate satisfaction and happiness where things can change. You can become a better person. The things around you become better and more substantial, and life has greater meaning under joy, because when times are not fun or happy or good, you can still look further ahead down the road and say, I'm getting there. This is just the journey. This is just a little rock in the road. This is just a mountain to get over. And joy will be at the destination. Versus pleasure, it doesn't even have a destination. It's just a time issue. But in all of that, I can say that pleasure is a bad thing in a way, because it is a distraction. It is a deterrent. It is something a lot of people will use as a mask over their problems and their issues, and they're hoping that they can extend the time a little bit with fun before the woes hit. But the mentality really is to avoid the woes, and that's where hedonistic personalities come in, and that is a person who has to have pleasure at all costs. We need to get into where's pleasure too much. Like I said in the last episode, it is absolutely required in life. Best friends, best memories, best moments come from pleasure, not necessarily joy. And that brings us to the next topic of the golden means, which is basically a graphed out threshold of a high and a low. I guess we'll go this way, a high and a low. And Socrates is the one who kind of came up with the golden means. It's the perfect median, or the middle of something. So let's take an engine, for example. It has thresholds. Most engines, if it drops below 1,800 RPMs, revolutions per minute, the engine does not have the inertia. There's not enough energy or power to keep it going for the next cycle, for the next piston to hit, for the next piston to hit. It's got to keep a rotation. So if you drop below that, the pressure inside the cylinder is actually going to stall the engine. Then, we've got no energy, no power now, no output. No matter how good everything is working, if there's not enough energy there, it's not going to work. So we've got to get to that lower end first. But then engines also have what you typically see it as a red line, is what they call it. And that is the revolutions per minute gets so high that the engine will essentially destruct itself. It is not good if you want to keep the engine. And of course, with a broken engine, you have zero power whatsoever. Another notification. I love my phone. It tells me everything at the most inconvenient moments, but I will keep going because this is my priority. So I have seen engines that have over redlined, and I've seen pistons shoot straight through the cylinder heads, or the crankshaft totally get bent. Just a lot of problems can happen when it exceeds its maximum threshold. So the goal is to find that spot in the middle. So if you're just slightly over it, it's still not going to work. And then if you're slightly under, you're still stressing yourself out. I see a lot of people do this with their jobs. Some people do not put enough energy into their jobs, and they sit at minimum wage and wonder why is it. I'm here. I'm putting my effort and my time in here, but not my effort. Then I also see people at the other end where they work so much that they get burned out, that there is just no glory in waking up and saying, hey, let's go tackle the day because, I'm expended, totally burned out. So it happens at both ends. And the golden means is such an important part in all of the goal process. As I wrote the goal process, I had to take every single topic and say, what's the high end? What's the low end? And where do we meet that in the middle? Got marker on me. And when you take two topics, they each have a different threshold, a different median, and that's like priorities in your life. You want to be the best person you can. Let's say you have a musical skill. You want to keep improving that, but then you find another instrument. Well, then you've got to learn that too. We all want some kind of great relationship. We all have some kind of great education or a religious thing. We have so many facets within our life, and we try to jumble all that together. And it's important to know what's the threshold and what's the golden mean on each one of those. That way we can balance out our life a little bit. Because if you put too much exercise and not enough work, well, then you're going to be strong poor, I guess. And it's really tough if you do too much school that you don't get any experience. Or if you have everything experience and not enough technical knowledge. To realize, hey, if I would have just studied a little bit more, I could have had a process that actually streamlined this. And that's where it becomes, the word efficient makes sense in our lives. The golden means is such an important thing. So whenever I write about things and talk about things, always keep in mind that that particular topic has a golden mean. It has an upper threshold and a lower threshold. Yeah, and it's, like I said, it's just tough to sometimes put that all together because every now and then one priority is going to say, you know what, we have a project at work and we cannot stop. There are no vacation days until this project is complete, properly complete too. And sometimes we just go through the actions and motions and call that work. And no, it's actual work has a meaning, and we'll get into that in another video. So when we round out all of the different priorities, and that's why step one was identify all the wants. Because each want is going to require a different amount of time. We have a finite amount of time. And then we've got to balance that all in there and say, when can I do what? If I'm here, can I do that one? Yes, no. Do I have the money for this? Yes, no. And if I put money here, do I have money for that? Yes, no. So the golden means is such a big deal in the whole goal process. The next topic within the goal process would be what I call the 3 requisites. When I had the gym, I really didn't have that many rules. It was pretty simple. On a first day of class, when a kid came in, I would say, here's the 3 rules, the 3 requisites. 1, don't hurt yourself. Because then you're not hurting. I mean, to kids, that made a lot of sense. It's like, oh, if I hurt myself, I'm going to hurt. I don't want to, like I said, one of the other episodes, boys, okay, you got to give them a little margin of hurting themselves. It's how we learn. But majority of gymnastics is females, little girls, and they kind of catch on to that pretty quickly. Oh, me? I'm a cute little princess. So, well, don't hurt yourself. It makes it that easy. So if you do something that's smart, probability is you're not going to get hurt. If you're going to do something stupid, well, probability you'll get hurt. So it made the words smart and stupid very relevant within the gym. And again, that's why I mention those in the goal process within the book Izeneyes. When you aren't hurting, you are more productive. You can progress. You can say, here's my checklist, boom, boom, boom. And when you get hurt, especially as an athlete, you're not an athlete whatsoever. You are a person healing and not progressing on your goals as time continues to tick. Rule 2, don't hurt others. Well, that makes a lot of sense, but there is a little bit of a selfish aspect in this. And it really comes down to, do you want others to help you? You're going to come across people who have resources, a talent, a skill, or something that you require. And if you have done something that has hurt them in the past, whether it be mentally, physically, emotionally, psychologically, any way, people, smart or stupid, remember things. They really do. And they're like, you know what, that person kind of rubbed me wrong. Well, that person stole from me. That person called me a name and it was really insulting. I have the power to tell them no. Now, if you've hurt that person and you need something, you're in a predicament. So where is the negotiation? There is none. And we get more into the forgiveness and repentance a little bit later on as we talk about mentors. But this is a really big deal in whether you are successful or not, because no matter what, you will need others. Reputations do precede you, no matter what. Whether you're good at keeping a schedule, you tell people be there 8 o'clock and then you're there at 8:15, 8:39, or the next day. Who knows? I mean, some people are pretty bad. This whole time blind crap. Come on. You know, you can't be that self-absorbed that you do not know what time it is. That one really, really baffles me. And I find that offensive. If somebody schedules something with me, my time is so important that when somebody transgresses my time and they come back and say, hey, I want to spend more time with you, it's like, I'm going to second think that. Okay, rule number 3. Don't let others hurt you. And this is a very, very big deal. I say in the goal process, there are things to act and things to act upon. You are something that can act. You can choose. You can make decisions. You can create action. Therefore, you are something that can act. However, every individual has that same ability. Which means when they act, they may be acting on you. They may be needing you as a resource for your skills, your time, your compassion, your empathy, or even your sinister nature if that's what you have. It's amazing what people will need you for. And they may not always have your best interest in mind. So when you watch people, see what they're doing, why are they doing that? This actually helps create friendships too. So you see somebody who is trying to achieve something, and this was great in the gym because every advanced gymnast in my curriculum knew that the new incoming gymnast was going to work on what they've already done and what skill they already acquired. And they knew that when this new person in the class saw their skill and said, I've got that same goal, well, they're going to naturally turn to that person. And, you can say, hey, yeah, here's the problems I had. Here's how I solved them. Now that new person had such a great advantage and they respect you. That is one of the most important things you can gain from somebody is respect. If they don't respect you, again, if you hurt them in any way, there's no respect. There's no help. And I did see this with my gymnasts sometimes, is the younger or the newer one in the class had insulted or made a joke or thought it was funny to the more advanced one. And if they got paired together, that advanced one did not help. They're like, no, you can learn it the hard way. That's perfectly fine. I have my own goals. I have my own things. You've transgressed me, and I'm not going to let it stop me. So don't hurt others. Or don't let others hurt you. Sorry. Number 3. A big deal. It's, like I said, it's a very, very selfish way of going about things. However, that is within the golden means. If you're an empathetic person, the last thing you want to do is make a choice that hurts somebody that you care about. That is a grief and an emotion that is really hard to overcome and to apologize for. It was like you didn't realize half the time. I wouldn't say it was smart or stupid in these situations, but ignorant. You saw a goal. You did not see the wake that it created, and you did not see the collateral damages off to the sides. And that is very often. And I would say majority of people offending you or insulting you are definitely collateral damage decisions. I don't believe most people have the ambition to hurt others. Granted, there are the narcissistical ones who really do. And when you just open your eyes and look around and say, who's here, who's there, who's where, and who's doing what and why, it really helps you assess, okay, why does that person want that? Why is this person manipulating this person? Why is this person helping that person? And it makes a lot of sense into why we are doing what we are doing. Oh, that person had that resource this person needed. It's putting puzzles together. And it helps you to say, oh, wow, let me help you. Or, no, you are a little caustic. You're a little bit too dangerous. You're running around with TNT in your back pocket. I don't want to be near that when it explodes, because it's going to permeate and it's going to injure everything and everyone around you when it finally blows. Okay, so I think we've made a good stance on the 3 requisites. Again, don't hurt yourself, don't hurt others, and don't let others hurt you. I'd like to close with a couple more Steve Jobs quotes. It's not that I'm a big Apple guy, because I'm actually not. I'm not into Apple whatsoever. Okay, so these were the 5 undeniable facts. I've kind of mentioned one in The Pirates, and he says, and I really love this first one: do not educate your children to be rich. Educate them to be happy. So when they grow up, they will know the value of things, not the price. And that is such a big deal. And when you have the concept of how valuable your time is and how to spend that with your children, there's nothing that can replace that. Nobody can purchase that away from you. And that is the greatest joy that you can get. I said this one in the previous one: eat your food as medicine, otherwise you must eat medicine as food. Go out there, do the best you can for yourself. You've got one body, treat it right. Exercise it, make it healthy, make your mind healthy, control your thoughts, control your actions. The one who loves you will never leave you, even if they have 100 reasons to give up. He or she will always find a reason to hold on. When you follow the 3 requisites and people know that you're not there to hurt yourself, you're not out to hurt themselves or anybody else, like I said, a lot of respect is built in that. People admire that, so they fall in love with that safety. They fall in love with that appreciation. That doesn't mean that you're going to be perfect. That doesn't mean that your decisions will not have a collateral damage of some sort. And the people that you love the most are affected the most. Even if it was altruism or whether it was pure great intent, you can step on toes. You can accidentally trip those around you. But they want to know that you're there to help them up. And you need to know, with their decisions, that they will reach out and help you up just as well. The next one: there is a big difference between human being and being human. And again, that comes to the 3 requisites. How does it not? You're treating everybody else around you with the ability to act and to be acted upon. That helps you decide, am I treating you like an object? And every now and then, I see a lot of managers, a lot of employers treating their employees as though they are objects. And I have seen bosses use employee personal property as their business asset. And I'm like, oh, no. That is a tangible item. You don't touch people's properties. You treat them as a person. You respect their property because it shows you respect them as a human. And you do not treat people like property. They are not. They are teachable. You become an educator instead of a dictator. And you will see that there's a big difference in treating them as a human instead of a human being, or just being human, just a tangible object. Especially for you dads out there. Treat your kids like people. That's what I did. My kids are amazing. I didn't treat them as a child. I treated them as an individual. I acted with them as though they were a child, because they were. I worked with them because they were impressionable and they wanted to experience life. Every young, human being wants to experience life for the greatest that it has. And you as a dad makes the biggest difference in how your kids are accepted in this world and how they will accept others in this world. You are the biggest influencer, whether you understand that or not. This is kind of interesting. If you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. There is always strength in numbers. And this is one of the most important things I've always said with my kids is like, we may not always win. You look at our court records. We've lost 100%. We really have. But what did we lose? We had somebody steal our time. Yeah, we did. But there's a couple other things. If you haven't read The Laws of Power, 48 Laws of Power by Michael Green, read it. You'll find out that the situation creates strength and great relationship. But even though we may not always win, if we work together, we never lose. The bond that you can build with your kids is so amazing when they know that you're their teammate. They will reciprocate and be your teammate too. If you treat them in a way that is not human, they're going to treat you not human too. And they're going to question and debate and kick back at everything you say, not because you're wrong, and not because you're right, but because they didn't feel human. I thought those were great things that fathers can implement into their lives, and the March issue is coming out. Let's see how well this goes. This one is about leprechauns of the courtroom, or lawyers. A very interesting article. Make sure you register to vote in your state. Again, I have my voter ID card sitting right here on the desk. As well, go to usdads.org, create an account, join our email lists, be up to date with what's going on. We have a lot of programs that we want to launch. Of course, it all takes money, so please hit that donate button. You can do a one-time payment, or you can do a recurring payment of whatever you wish. Every penny helps. We are here to build families. We are here to build America. So if you have any questions, concerns, complaints, or comments, please leave them down below. And remember, Izeneyes. Believe greatly, achieve greatly. Sometimes I lose track of where I'm going, which is good. It's fun. It makes me more spontaneous. I got my cat again. You're on my table again. You're staring at me. Okay. Cat! Meow! Why do you do this when I record?